Sir, good evening.
Good evening. Evening, Jude.
Uh,
Kumusta?
Sir, I would like to ask, sir, if pwede ko ma-invite yung friend ko, sir, because he wants to learn
Mm.
about
Yes.
HTML also.
Yes. You can share the meeting link.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, Jude. Anyone that would like to ano, learn HTML can ano, can join us. The more the merrier. Sige.
Yes, yes, sir.
I-share lang din. Ano, let's wait mga around 10 to 15 minutes for the others to come in. Then we'll start the next discussion for this for the topic. I guess we will be tackling images today. I hope there will be no more questions or clarifications. Or if there is, short lang na clarifications. So,
Okay, sir.
hmm, sige.
Thank you, sir. set
Mm.
equals UTF dash 8. So, nakita ko na siya, sir, kung paano siya i-utang.
Ah, yung car set, character set.
Yes, sir. The
Mm.
character set.
And then what else have you tried in W3 schools?
And also the drive, sir. DIV,
Div.
drive.
Div. That's division.
Div.
Yeah, div.
The div followed by class equals to uh, container or
Mm.
something.
You're on the container part. That's good. You, you're already with.
Because actually, sir, I try to contain, for example, the branches that I made last
Mm.
time. So I have another idea how can I make it look more presentable, sir.
Yung
So
naka-arrange.
that's why I explore some ano, sir.
Teka lang.
I explore some tags.
Mm-hmm. Ayaw mo. Hold on. I'll sorry for that. Nag-ano, di-on ako ang aircon. Sige. So, what else do you work on W3 schools? So, what are the challenges that you encounter with declaring div?
Actually, sir, it is the same when I create heading and ano, the same lang sila.
Mm.
Siguro ang difference lang is the code.
So,
So most likely
mm,
the same na sila, sir.
with we have two different type of tags that allows you to like format the we call that one containers or layout.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Containers.
So that's block and inline. So there's one type of container tags that creates the block. So the effect is that it creates sets of blocks. Like you can stack, kumbaga, if you are familiar with hollow blocks.
Yes, sir.
So when you apply it, it stacks the content until you can create like from top to bottom of like the whole the whole stretch of your, you call that one, browser area, navigation area. So it feels that space similar way a hollow blocks characteristics of a hollow block when you stack it in doing construction. So that is a block type container tags or elements. And we also have this inline container tags that even though you place the content side by side, it will just be wrapped around the port area of your browser or the navigation area of your browser.
And also, sir, I noticed, sir, like for example, I find some other HTML code, the format, sir,
Mm.
and I noticed, sir, that their format is different. Like for example, on the first part ng open the yung doc type ba sir HTML. And then under the doc type HTML, we put open HTML and then close it, right, sir?
Hmm.
But on the other, sir, yun sa iba, sir, ng HTML, open HTML, and then they put lag
Lang.
equals to
It's lang or
lang,
language.
it's lang. And then they, ano yung
Mm.
quotation ng
En.
language is English,
En.
E, EN.
So that
So,
that
amo,
attribute allows you to set the default browser translation. Usually it's the base language of the website by the time it loads the page. Then there is this function in a browser that allows the browser to translate your default language into, like for example, a certain language that is added to your browser. So for
yes,
example,
sir.
if the character is not in English, because most of the browsers or most of the users were using English in their web page or in the content. So if the browser detects that, for example, it's in Japanese or in Korean, the characters there, the browser will offer translation of those characters. If you notice, by the time you access websites that are not in English, the browser will give you options to translate it, especially when your like Google settings or Google profile is set to English as a default language, and the page you access are in on a different language. So yes, it communicates with the browser. Similar with the metadata that I previously discussed, that it allows it's either the browser or the server, the other server that um, captures the information from your website without accessing your server. So, yan. But those attributes, um, it it may not be necessary to be added on your HTML site, but at times, yes, it's important to have as well. But it is not required because it will not break your output. So it's okay if it's there, and it's okay if it's not present in your, how do you call this one, in your markup.
Okay, so that's almost okay. Some of the another sir.
Yes.
Uh, the difference sir between UL and LI. I forgot the word
We
sir.
will be tackling that one today.
Ah,
Yes. So our target for today is images. So after um, having several implementations for the images, then we will have list. So that's our next.
because I saw it's another uh, HTML code.
Mm.
The open OL tapos close.
Sige, I'll share my screen and I'll show to you the OL or the list. Sharing my
I
screen.
think the OL sir is ordered and the
Mm.
UL is unordered. So,
Yes. Sige. So, hold on. Switch natin to. So, let's go back to that. Like, let's go back to the image by that time. Ayan.
that's
Mm.
that one, sir.
So, your ordered list, um, let's let's analyze it. Let's describe it one by one. So, the OL, I'll use my pen. OL and opening, the open or the start OL and the end OL tags. Those are your container of the whole set of your list. So ordered list allows you to create a numbered set of items. So this LI or list items, as they say, are being listed, and automatically the OL will give you the number 1, 2, and 3 without declaring it. So if you add more items here, it will continue the list of item numbers here, like 4 until 5, until you end your markup. So yes, the OL, something like that, is for ordered list. And the other one that you mentioned, UL, is for unordered. So for unordered is bulleted, so it's in bullets. So instead of O, it will be U, stands for unordered. Same, you declare the items. After declaring the items, it will give you, instead of numbers 1 to 2, 3, it will give you bullets, and you can change the bullets according to the attribute that is we're going to get from W3 schools. Alright, so bakit naka-white? So andito yan sa list. Okay, so for an ordered, ito lang. And then for ordered, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you start your unordered with the UL tag, and each item starts with LI. And both are container tags, meaning they have contents in between. Okay. And then for ordered list, you have OL. Similar to an ordered list, you place LI for the items. And then there are other lists actually that you can use, which is DL for description list. Sometimes this is used for dictionaries, like this one, and it will create a dictionary type of listing for you. Then for an ordered list, so this is how you're going to ask Google how to create or change an ordered list icon. Ito. So that part is already on CSS. It involves CSS. So in asking Google, you will just say how to change. So I think it's also available with ChatGPT. Right. So this is the property. So the property is list style type. And you can say circle, square, upper Roman for the number, or lower alpha for the numbered or ordered list. Okay? Na-follow lang ba?
Yes, sir.
Sige. So, we'll apply that one to our code. I think we don't have listing here yet, but we can maybe add that one to our overview. Okay. So, we'll try OL for now. And LI. Or we can use this one so that gamit ato rin gamiton si ano, mga A or mga anchor tag ibalhin lang na because I don't know what to place here. And then we duplicate and paste. So I'm just duplicating. Control D for the duplicate. Okay, let's change the name. Ordered list. So are you using the server environment already? Like nagamit na ka sa ano dyan? Sa server? Or
Not yet, sir, because I try to make it organize my work.
hmm,
And also, I would like to lessen like for example, the metaphysics, no, I want to modify it
hmm,
so that it could be more easy to me to navigate.
hmm,
Or I think I will put 3 or 4 navigation lang,
hmm,
and then 2 folders, and sa folders, doon ko na ano, ipasok lahat.
i-add. Hmm.
Because I look at very unorganized.
Uh, that's good. That you are already ano, you're applying what you're doing right now is applying the first meet. I think that's first meeting or the second day. Day 2 web structure or day 3. I forgot. I forgot when we discussed that web
Day
structure.
2 siguro, sir.
Day 2.
Day 2.
So that's good that you're applying your learning. Okay, so OL si overview. Okay. Oh, reveal. So nag-open na siya sa window din. Then let's open it. Ayan. So there are several styling that we can apply to ordered list that will change it into navigation that's seemingly have like naka ano siya or tab view yung nasa sidebar, so you can actually do that.
Laro sa motor laro. XRM. Okay na ni pa? Wala, dili makuha.
So we can actually create like the navigation from the UL or the unordered list. So from this kind of from this kind of output, which is numbered, there are styling that we remove the number. After removing the number, we set it into We set it into tabs, and we can have that output later on. So for now, this is the output of the ordered list or the OL. And if we change,
Actually, sir, what I do on my work, sir, aside from revising or being reorganized,
mm,
I put sir details and summary so that it could be easy to click. Sir,
mm,
magawa na lang siya.
kasi ano,
Magawa sa lang.
naka, ano siya, sa tawag ni, naka-segregate. Mm,
Segregate na sa
mm,
sir para easy na lang ng at least somehow may do animation ba?
mm.
May animation na siya. So, ang mga changes naging dugang ko and then I try to put some example, the border, border, sir.
Sige.
But, I noticed, sir, may nakita ko, sir, nga some, uh, code that on the heading, they put, uh, as what I said earlier, meta, tapos
Mm.
character set, and then meta name equals to
The name of the site.
viewpoint, viewport,
Okay.
then content, tapos they specific the with, device, with, initials, and scales. A scale equals to 1.0,
Mm.
and then they put the title on it, and then after that they put style, and then body. They put body, heading, container, and heading to. There's something uh, alien to me, sir. So
Sige.
I would like to uh,
So I think
bring it, I
it
think.
is important to tackle that one as well, because I see the importance of having a viewport meta tag in your web page, or even in other, like if you're developing mobile based applications, that allows the, okay, the app, because there are two, we have mobile based development and we have desktop based development. When you develop a web page and you develop it in a desktop, no, there's no problem with the arrangement, the layout, the text sizing, the font size. There's no problem with that one. On the other hand, when you access it on a mobile, like the mobile environment, the thing there is that uh, the page design changes. So here, the viewport fixes. So it allows you to scale that the style that you set in your desktop development, and it will be carried to your mobile. So the one is to one there, or the value viewport name, I think value one, will tell the browser that the actual size is like this, like there will be no changes. But if you set a ratio, because there's several ratio there, that by the time the size in your desktop is being loaded in a mobile environment, it changes to smaller or bigger, depends on the ratio. So according to, okay, let's use W3 school. So what's the viewport? So it's user's visible area of the web page. So it varies with the device that you're using. So the viewport, meaning how big the screen is in your mobile, is smaller than the screen in your desktop application, in your desktop or in your PC or in your laptop. So the how it looks on a mobile is different when you look at it in a PC. So to fix that, you have to set the ratio there, and that helps the browser um, make the sizes consistent. So before, web pages were designed only for computer screens, and it's common for web pages to have static design and fixed size. And now we have this CSS concept, we call it media queries, where you allow your style to change according to the size of the screen it detects when it's being loaded on a browser. Because we have laptop or desktop based browser and we have mobile based browsers. Okay, so I can share I guess a little bit of that one. So can I think this is the what you encountered, Jude. So
Yes, sir. That one, sir.
the name viewport there tells that this meta tag is the one setting. This is the viewport configuration, and the content is the like kumbaga configuration. So device width, then the initial scale 1.0 is your ano, kumbaga scaling. So if this is your design on a desktop, by the time you open it on a mobile, whatever you declare here will be equivalent to mobile, and it will not change even though the screen size is smaller. I think we can check on sample viewport comparison. Let's see if we can have an example for that. Okay. Dapat na picture. I hope we can have a picture of, because it's hard to explain when we don't have a sample. I think this one. Ano? Because that one is CSS already, but before we continue with the images, it's also important to note because images are using pixels, and viewport changes the size of the image by the time it's loaded from one display to another. So that question is actually good one. So mangitatagan no. Okay, I think we can use this. So in Google Chrome, there is this function that changes the device from desktop to a mobile viewport. So if your website is not responsive, kumbaga, the style were not responsive, by the time you click this one, it will not change the styling into mobile base. But this one is mobile base naman siya. So if you notice, when you inspect it, the styling loaded were already mobile friendly. We call that one mobile friendly in technical terms. And by the time you check this device toggle, then it will open the desktop styling. Okay, so that meta tag viewport 1:1, this one allows you to set the configuration, and it will tell your it tells the browser that this size, especially when you're declaring CSS styles, will be equivalent all throughout the viewport sizes. I hope I can share the so sometimes when you declare it and you don't have media queries, like the styling are not there, what happens is that it carries the design of your desktop, like all the styling your desktop. So if you happen to open this site, yeah, on a mobile environment, and it does not have mobile queries there or media queries that is equivalent to the mobile viewport scale, the the design is or the appearance will still be like this, and it will be very small, diba? So think of this. I am opening this site on a desktop environment right now, and you open this similar, like you see this one or you view this one on a mobile. So looking at this on a mobile environment, all the text here, all these details will be quite small, right? And that is not a good practice. So that viewport one scaling or one scale there sets the configuration, and by the time you add media queries or additional styling to your mobile development, when you're developing your style in a mobile environment, that helps the scaling. So there's another way to do that also, like this one. If you resize the screen, okay, so I adjust the viewports. But this one it is using already, I think they're using a library already. Okay, they're using Bootstrap for this one, and that's the styling library I will be introducing to you later in the so this one, Bootstrap. So this one is a responsive style library that you don't have to develop yourself, because it is like it has already the style that you need from containers, text formatting, what else, like component based styling, colors. They have the breakpoints, they have form controls, then like for example these components that allows you to create accordions without you creating it on your own, also alerts, navigation bars, so something like this. So I will introduce that one later after we are like familiar with HTML markup. Because if we tackle this one and you're not familiar with HTML, by the time you have this lots of markup already, you might have a headache. And yes, maybe the learning process is like you jump from one point to another instead of doing it one by one. So let's just take it slow so that you will understand or digest all the markups, and you will be prepared on the next like styling, which is like the CSS classes. Okay, so for viewport, going back to viewport, yes, that's the answer. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but whatever you design in desktop, the viewport tells the other browser that this is the size, exactly the same size. And by the time you open it in mobile, and like there is this aspect ratio of those style contents, it will just carry it over there. And then when you view this site on a mobile on a similar size, so it will the contents and the view will be smaller. So the viewport or meta tag viewport helps on developing mobile based styling in order for your web page, like your web page or your website, will be styled according to mobile or mobile first styles, which allows you to respond, like ma-respond siya. Asa naman ito kung change? Is this the one or this one? Like it will respond accordingly, like that. If this one is, so this one using mobile first styles already. Okay, so yes, that's it. That's the purpose of your viewport. Okay, so you will, I think you will understand that when we're going to use Bootstrap or mobile first styles later on. So I can show an example of how to create media queries that will that we can compare whether like respond by the time the size of your screen changes. So we can do that, like even one example, because there are a lot of media query implementations, and it depends on the purpose of your application or your website. Okay. Sige. So that's for view. Sorry, that's for viewport. What else what's the second question, Jude? I think you have a second question. So for meta tags, there are, let's try the meta tags. I think I gave you an example when we paste the link to Facebook, where it captures the meta tag contents from, for example, I hope I can copy this one to Facebook. So we can try. So these are meta tag values from mozilla.org, and take note, mozilla.org is a different website and Facebook is a different server. So we can view that one here when we page source. Adagana. Meta, Carset, viewport. I think this one is too much. Let's try to open inspect if it's alright. So better. So we can check meta theme color. Wait, hold on. Where is that? Here. OG Facebook. Twitter card. Okay, these are the meta tags that's captured by that one. I hope to increase the size. Okay. So from meta name, property OG URL, this OG is Facebook's it's Facebook's way of getting the information from mozilla.org instead of like mutok-tok pa sila dito ni ano Mozilla mangayo mga data, but no, this data is already available using a meta tag, and you just set the property. What URL will Facebook learn from mozilla.org, and it will be displayed on their end. Title, type, description, the image type, the image height, the width, the image alternative text, and the site name. And also, if you want to paste this, like you paste the URL in Twitter or X, so it will get this one and this Twitter creator. So without accessing mozilla.org site or server, you will be able to get this information. These are public information similar to other websites. So if you inspect other website, they'll have the same implementation. If they wanted to have presence with like if they wanted to give Facebook the ability to get the information. And sometimes this is where SEO, digital marketing as well, is using this concept to share information from one site to another. And then the link to your site. So so kindly take note of this. We'll go to Facebook, and if you notice, it gets the information, which is the image. So Kinesha is equivalent to this one, OG image. So let's copy and inspect this one. I'll open this one and I'll hit enter, and it will open the image that's captured by Facebook. So no authentication needed because it is the public data. Ano siya? It's equivalent to this one. And developer mozilla.org is equivalent to, where is that? I think the title, as ang title, mozilla.org. IT nasa babaw. Oops. Singalan niya. View meta tag. view meta tag here. So it's using view meta tag, and this one is the URL. So if i-click na ko to siya nga card, if I click this card, later by the time I post it on public, it will go to this URL. That will be the link. And who is declaring that one? No one is declaring. It's already in the meta tag. And by the time Facebook posts your, like you post on Facebook, the hyperlink there is being captured. So I can also give you an example later on how to do that, like get this information from the meta tag of a URL of a website that is that is public. As long as it's public, it's fine. Only private sites or like authenticated pages medyo na problem. It's not a problem, but it's not actually a problem. But you will not be allowed to access data that are like or has that needs authentication. So that's a rule. Okay, so what do we need to add? So I hope that clarifies regarding meta tag that you encountered in your practice, Jude. Ano ba? Do you have something else to ask? How about the others? Any clarification? There might be some who practice with the previous, like from the previous sessions, that you might have any questions. Wala questions? Sige. So I'll take that one as a yes, no questions. An answer of yes. Okay, so let's continue. So earlier, so last week we have absolute path. Last week we end with navigation links, right? Then we implemented both absolute and relative path and connected, not connected but linked our pages, like the multiple page that we have in our website. So for this evening session, so for tonight, we're going to use the same concept of absolute and relative path in adding images to our web page. So in adding an image to your document, you can use same, okay? You can use the same concept. And how to add an image is by using, hold on, I think yeah. In adding an image to your page, you will use the image tag. The image tag, or IMG, is the one declaring an image to your web page. And then the attribute that you will be using, so instead of href, which is the one used in linking or hypertext, we will be using src or source, but still we will be using absolute or relative path to link our image. So you kindly take note of that one. So path to your image in your drive, and then we can use alt, or it is alternative text whenever the image is broken. So if it happens that your image is no longer available, like it's not, I cannot click. Hold on. I hope to admit, but I couldn't click. What happened here? Oops. Naglag. Admit. Sorry. Okay. Balik. Okay. So if it happens that your image is no longer available in your, like in your system, in your website, then this is the text that will appear there. So I'll show you a broken image as an example. Broken HTML image. Okay, something like this. So if you encounter this one in your web page, or your website, in your web application, it means that the image link or the image source is no longer available, and this might need debugging. Okay, it might need debugging. So how do you debug that one? You can debug that one by just looking at the element. So remember the element, it is that tag where it converts or changes the appearance in your web page, or it holds a function. So we can, I hope to add that one. Right, so I think I can, so overview. Let's place this one in the overview. Okay. So I add already my img src rims.jpg, this one. So I've downloaded images. I've downloaded images already. So we'll set this one like that for now as an initial output. So images src, then path to your image file. So my relative path is assets, images, then the file name. If you notice, it is assets, images, then the file name, which is rims.jpg. So what happened if it's like png, gif? So instead of jpg, rims.gif or rims.png. You change the file name extension accordingly. So if you ask me, is it necessary to change the file name if it's like what will happen if it's not the same? Okay, so this one is JPEG, GIF, and PNG. So we can view that one. This is under overview. So let's open overview. Let's close this one for now. Something overview here. So this is our overview, and we refresh this. Okay, we have two images that are broken. So if you notice this one, nasa ubos. Those are broken images because we set the wrong extension. And this one, kining dako kayong rims.jpg here, is the file that's been loaded and gilinks siya with your image tag. And using the absolute URL, your absolute path or URL, then it tells you that, okay, load this image on your browser. Then our alternative text, okay, we can use rims png so that it will have an indicator. Alt GIF, it's an indicator. Alt JPG. Okay, kindly take note that alternative text or alt only shows when the image is broken. So if you ask me, will it appear by the time the image load? No, it won't be there. Hindi siya magpakita. Kuhan siya mang-goose. Okay. Oh, sorry. I should have closed this one. Oops. Sige. So let's check the output. Kada ko raman na. Alright, here. GIF, sorry. And rims.png. The other two broken images. Okay, so the case rims, it is not what we wanted. Because what we want is that this rim should be like the size would be a little bit smaller, or it would be like a presentable size maybe. So we can do a change for that one by adding width. We can set it to 300 and save. I'm saving right now, and after saving we can check the output and it will change to 300 pixels, and we can inspect the size if it's correct. So when inspecting, sorry, okay, there. So by the time you hover using the DevTools, shortcut for DevTools is F12, and it will open this DevTools of Chrome, and you will see there that it renders and give you the size, but the actual the actual size of it is actually 1500 by 14300 pixels. So that's how big it is. And the location is under assets, images, and rims.jpg. Oops. Asa ulan? Berg na cancel na ko na. Sorry. Join lang balik. Yun. Sorry, ma'am. Okay. So that's how you load your images. I forget where I'm at. Okay, changing the size of the width, you can use the width attribute, or there's width, there's height, or the best, it's recommended to use style. So for this one, you can change the style instead of width. So let's try adding height that is different. If we use 100, meaning smaller size, smaller height, what happens there? It will constrict your image and it will distort. Okay, so after doing that, if you change it and you view it in the browser, the aspect ratio changes and it will try to compress your image. So the recommendation usually is to set a maximum width. Bahala na si height. Or when you do have a container, we set the maximum height, and automatically the width will just bump into the container size. So how do we do that? So for example, here this will be a little, I know, because it involves division. So division is a container. Div is a container tag, which will be discussed later when we create layouts. So if it happens that your div has a width of 300, style width 300 px. If you didn't declare anything, it will overlap. So may tabuan will be something like this. Just go beyond. Okay. So the practice is that you use style with 100%, and this image will fit to your container. So our container is div. Our image is using 100%, or meaning use the whole ratio of your image. Whatever the container size is, or any changes in the container, your image will still fit and will not be constricted to how because in a mobile environment, usually ang layout, diba? The layout usually changes according to percentages. Bali, the percentage of how big your desktop application is when viewed in a mobile environment, they're like percentage na quite smaller, quite bigger. And for the image to adjust according to the container size, this is how we do it. We add a specific, like for example, container specific value of the width, and then we just set the image to 100%. In that manner, the image will just adjust according to the container size. Di na siya kinahanglan i-usbon. Like, you don't need to change anything on your image. So the output there is that, okay, something like this. So for example, if we change your image, the container size to 350. So when we refresh it, yeah. So the image will change itself as well. So ang container na siya rin mag-constrict. So that's the practice. And not changing the image height and width, because there's a possibility that for example, if we change the height, so hopefully let's try to add border 1px solid red, just to debug this image. So that is your 350 width. How about if we declare height to 100px, meaning your division is 350, your the width is 350, the height is 100 pixels, meaning dili siya this is square. Yes, the container is not square, and it only has a 100 pixel height. And what happens there? Okay. Why did Nico actually overflow? Height. I think I missed a height one. So it should be 100% height and an automatic width. Okay, so when we constrict, so if I change this one to 150, ayun, so your your image automatically adjusts. So the ratio there, the pixels not being constricted, not compressed, and automatically it is adjusting. Sige. Okay. So next will be after having this relative path, we'll go to using absolute path. So the absolute path we will use, okay, we can use this one, or we can search in Google for images. Example, cars. Si Lightning McQueen man gawas. Let's just open this image in a new tab. Okay, so this is absolute path, and this absolute path starts with the CDN of Media Amazon. So Amazon images, then the file name, very lisod. But we can actually use that one as long as the image is like it's available and it's not broken. So let's change this one, Syrians. So we know that this one is so huge. So we'll add the styling. I think we can have width of 500 pixels alone, and we'll just remove the height, and let's remove the alternative text. So this one is using relative path, this one is using absolute path. So unsay difference nilang dua? Si relative path, all the assets like images ba na siya, file kuan ba na siya kanang SGB files, GIF, all are stored in our website. Like we download, place it inside our website, and then we link it using, or we use that as a source, like assets, images, rims.jpg. This one. So if you notice, gi-download na ko sa rims, and then I check on the relative path and then place it as source. Now this one, I went to a website, get the media URL, and then paste it as a source value. Now in this case, your sources, you know that, like your image assets, you know that it is inside your website. But this one, there's a tendency that this will be changed. Like the file might not be available in their drive already, or the images no longer exist. So that's the difference. So the only way we can change that one is to use the alternative text. And sometimes when, like for example, if you have database already, you're using database, the alternative text is usually the file name, or the file, maybe the title if it's a blog, or whatever names that can replace the image by the time it no longer exists on that path. So cars, let's just name it cars, and let's remove this. It will help us identify if there's a broken, so okay ra na siya. Alright, rims, see cars, and then the broken PNG that we intentionally placed earlier. Now the question is, usually there's a question, this is a common question. Can we use images as a link, like a navigation? Yes, the answer is yes. So how do you do that? Because sometimes you will have, you created an image there, you want this image to symbolize the, as it symbolizes the link, it symbolizes maybe a location, or maybe for example your picture that will be open online, your profiles, something like that. So these are common applications, especially for beginners that wanted to explore. So yes, we can do that. And the answer to that is you enclose it with your anchor tag. Okay. So how to enclose it with an anchor tag? Your image, this IMG, this IMG element should be the content of an anchor tag. Instead of home, siya, this one will be right here. There you go. So you enclose your image element with your, or it should be the content of your anchor or your link tag. Not link tag, but anchor tag, sorry. So if, like for example, by the time you click the image, sorry, it will open the file. So you just copy the file URL. Maybe we open it in a new tab. So target should be blank. Siya. So href, target is blank. The content is your image itself. The closing anchor. Okay, question before we check the output. Kinsay galibog. Who is confused kay basing natin Tagalog diri na viewer. Bisag walay viewers. Kisay na confused. You can ask questions who among you are confused with the implementation. So this one is only a regular image. This one is a link image, which is like a hyperlink image. Kinsa? Sige. So let's view the output if no one has a question. Okay, so if you notice, natay HTTPS ubos. Natay hyperlink. HTTPS and media Amazon.com images. I think it's I don't know if it's an I. Then the file name .jpg. So if we click on this, we follow the link, it will open the image. Sige, yun sa tanang ko, i-click lang ako na siya. And then it opens a new tab. Okay. Yes, Jude.
Sir, how about sir putting image as a background of your website?
Okay, that's a good question. So that involves CSS already, but we can tackle that one because we're dealing with image right now. Sige. So let's use this one. But I do not recommend online images as backgrounds because there's a possibility that the image will no longer be available or it will not exist site. So if ever there are free images that you can use as like a background, or you know how to use Photoshop, Canva is free. You can use Canva as well. And there are AI generator in Canva to create backgrounds. So you can use that one as well. So here, if you notice in your body, usually the body is the one that where you add the images. But right now, I will use an additional tag, which is style. So sorry, it should be inside the head. So styles are similar to metadata, which are additional information to your web page or to your website, to your web content. It's not visible, but it only links your styling to your pages. So it's recommended to be added on your head, and it should not be placed inside the body. Okay, kindly take note of that one. Now to add, this one is if this one is inline, we call this one inline styling, or an inline style. Inline style are added in the tag itself as an attribute. This one, we call this as an internal style. So all your style declaration, your CSS declaration, will only be available or will only be applied to this page, and it will not be applied to another page. So if we are now in overview.html, whatever you declare here, kutobra siya ni overview.html. Anywhere in the body, dira ra siya kutob. So going back to the question, how to add background. So we will be using this concept. Okay. So in CSS we have this selector, open close bracket, property, nag-comment lang ko diri juda. So by the way, this is adding comment in CSS. So in between the style tag, what you can declare there are only CSS styling, CSS properties, declarations, whatever CSS, mora na yan dawaton. If you add HTML here, it will be an error. So if you notice, it gives you do not use empty rule set. Sorry. Balik sa babaw. Ayan. So nag-error siya actually, because there is no th rule or th selector. Okay, your selector, open close curl braces, and then the property, value of that property, and terminated by a semicolon. So that is the basic syntax of CSS, or cascading style sheet. Ayan siya. So for now, we'll stick to body as a selector, or the tag name body. The property to add URL, to add background image, we can use a background image property, and then we use URL, single quote, and then we copy and paste our image. Medyo taas na ni. Kana siya. And kindly take note, it's terminated by a semicolon after the value. Kana siya jud. So adding background to your web page. And the question is, if this no longer exists in the, like, because this is online, this is a external location, what happens there, the background will disappear, may mo siyang white. So atong is-check ang ato ang saan tong output ani? Output here. Okay, mang-close atag. So this is our web page, overview.html. If we refresh this one, ayan. So naging background na si the image ni Kuan card ani kasi ni siya Lightning McQueen, sorry. So si Lightning McQueen becomes our background. And then there are several properties that you can control the background. So one example for that is the background position. Background position, center, then background repeat if you want to like repeat it. There are like before we used to create like a small pattern sa Photoshop. We create small patterns sa Photoshop and we just repeat it. Especially before that emboss concept, kanang emboss background, the header is emboss, kana siya, kanang na yung mga fade sa una, si tawag na gradient, sorry. So if there's a gradient background, we used to do that, to repeat that before. So kana siya. So the property and the properties, background position, the repeat, you can use here no repeat because we are not repeating the background and it's huge already. So let's check the output natin, refresh. So na center na siya instead of nasa kilid. So ana jud ang pag-set of background sa imong HTML. Now what happens if you apply the background? Yes, dude.
Sir, how about sir if you are already have photos like you're taking photos and you want to be use it as a background. So
Use
what is the
say
process, sir?
like na kay picture sa sunset ko no hay. Mangita tag picture sa sunset. Aba kay sunset lover din.
Yes, sir. What I mean is you already had it on your computer.
You transfer the ano. You transfer the image inside your, so this is the example. For example, this one, I hope I can find a larger one that can be, okay, this one. This is huge. So we save this one. The training root CV assets images, or we can create another folder so that it will be background, so that it will have a difference, meaning sunset. You can rename it sunset, and I'll save that one. So you save it, Jude, in your assets folder. So I created another directory which is background, which is separate from the images, and then we'll use that one URL. So we can use the same format, assets, background, sunset. Ay, sorry, nagdubli. Yan na. So the concept of relative path, as I said, applies to CSS, images, hyperlinks, And later on, when you do file uploads, yes, it applies to that. So, i-refresh na to atong page. So, this is our overview and we refresh it. There you go. Ay, di man makaro. Okay. Background height and width. Image height and width. CSS. Okay, background size. So we can use background size. I think we can use 100% for that one so that it will fit, because if you notice, dako ra kay siya. Dugay kay siya mo load. Okay, dako kayang file. So I think I mentioned this before as well, that when you have images and it happens that your image is 25 MB or something, by the time you load it in your web page, it also consumes a little bit of time loading it, because whatever the size of that file is equivalent to how it will be loaded through time. You can see that one in the timing. There is siya, makita nyo. Sources, kanya siya. Na background and this one. So na siya timing, inig refresh. Okay, murag na cache na siya. Pas naman. So image media realms. Okay, the time it took was 62 milliseconds to load that one. Gamay ram lagi siya, 66 KB raman. Feel na ko na cache na. So I will also discuss what is caching. So going back, Jude, to resize your image background size, we can use maybe 100%, and that's it. By the time we check this one, yun, the background is already 100% and it fits. So other question is that, because if you notice, si McQueen may may background. Because si McQueen, it's a JPEG. So what are those kinds of images that allows you to have transparent background? So instead of using JPEG, you can use PNG and sometimes JF, but JF usually is for animated pictures. So here you can use PNG if you want that that image will have like it will be transparent. So let's try PNG images. Let's try. This one. Open image in a new tab. Gamay siya, but I think pwede na. Let's save this one in our assets, images. This is AI. Okay, so I save it. Gisave na ko siya sa sa I save it into our website. So if you notice, si images na AI.jpg. Bakit JPEG? Dapat PNG. Oh, it's a JPEG. Free PNG free. image in a new tab. Okay, this one seems PNG. Okay, PNG siya. Save. Web image. Butterfly. Okay, WebP. When I take note, it's a WebP and not a PNG. So we declare that one here. Rims butterfly. That WebP. Alternative butterfly. Okay, and let's view the output. Nag-joke or good ning kwanda. Nag-joke ang butterfly. PNG images. Let's get some PNG images. Free PNG. That one is not PNG. I hope I can find on my local. Hold on. Let me check if I do have PNG files here. PNG. I'm checking PNG file. So many. These are screenshots. But this one is a PNG. So this one is a PNG file. So let's try to add this one. So it's just a QR. It's a working QR. Copy the training root CV assets images. Let's paste it here. Maybe join us.png. So I use dash. Right. So this is my local file because it's not working there. Join us is a PNG. Say join us the PNG. Join us. Alright. Assets, images, join us.png. And let's see. Uy, dako sorry. Dako ra kay siya. Okay, style again. Style. Let's see, mga 300 lang siguro. Ayun. Anyway, so PNG are the one. PNG images. I hope I can find one that's more accurate for our expected outcome. I think this one. It's still WebP. It's converted to WebP. They don't want us to tawagan kawat. Hindi sila kakawat sa picture. I think we can download this one. Close add. I think download. Ayun. So they wanted us to download it. Careful bit mag-download ha, kay basin o virus inyong ma-download. So when you're downloading free resources, sometimes, okay, the internet is huge, and by the time you access a kaning compromised site, tendency is that instead of downloading the right resource, you might be downloading viruses, especially when that site has a lot of um, advertisements, daghan kayong pop-ups, so you better be careful. And also, there are other links that will capture your card information, so be careful on that one, especially when the product is not, may mga product na ano, um, looks legit, especially when the price is quite low, sometimes very like high discounts. So careful, kasi instead of getting the right resource or buying the right one, you might be getting backdoor viruses, trojans, that will get your card information. It will hack to your bank accounts, and usually banks, by the time the transaction is legit, they will not cater it as fraud. Usually it is user negligence, so careful. Okay, purot ang kwarta. Click the order 2YCT 2YCT. Okay, ako rin gihulat ato. Yes, PNG. So I hope the heart will change. PPNG. Let's use it heart. Happy Valentine's. Happy bang Valentine's? Instead of join us, let's use heart. Happy Valentine's to all single out there. At
Sana all.
para sa mga single na siya. Sige. So ang heart, ayan. So that is how the PNG looks like if it's applied to your web page. So wala siya background, because there are times that you might need no background images, like dili makita ang background, so kana siya PNG. And if what you need is JPEG, then you can use similar to this one. Okay, so the question usually is how to create circle backgrounds, how to make your image a circle, kanang ginagamit sa mga user sa mga user profile. So you can do it through CSS, but we will not tackle it now because there is a library that will allow us to just apply the CSS class, and automatically it will create the user. It will create directly the user kanang similar to this one, kining na circle. So na. And thumbnails, so napa na siya diri ni Bootstrap. Exam docs, documents, thumbnails. Okay, image thumbnails. So you can create something like this. Create a rounded images. I hope they have this profile ba ito? Or circle navbar. have Barbara. Teka lang. Hindi naman ko familiar anyway. Tabs off canvas, pop-overs progress, those tooltips. I think it's not here. Images. Sige, gamo na lang natin. Okay, magwala siya dira. So let's convert this one into circle. Make an image circle using CSS. Okay, border radius property, and we set it into 50. So balik ta diri. So this one inside border radius 50%. So let's convert our rim into a circle from a square. Ayan. So you now have a circular rim. That's how you create the that's how you create the profile, user profile. Kana makita niyo sa Facebook usually, kana sa kilid or nasa babaw ba? Kana i-click ninyo for account settings. So yes, that's kaya lang, gets lang. Can I get a thumbs up? Dagdagan na lagi kayo ito. Isang basi nag-information overload na. Break ba? Break? Or padayon? I think I can add you sa classroom katong mga so that you can access the resources as well. Because I'll be the changes here, I'll be uploading it sa Drive, and the Drive is accessible via Google Classroom. So for those who are interested, you can drop your you can register through this link, I guess, and I will just share you. I will add you to the Google Classroom. Especially that the resources are there. So I'll just copy this one and paste it here. So later on here. So this is the registration form. I'll just get your email from this form, and then I will add you to the Google Classroom para ma-access ninyo ang katong recordings, activities, and probably the resources. This output, kini siya nga output, and the other output like we previously, like my examples. Okay. So yes, that is images. These are images, adding images using relative and absolute URL. Then using an image as a background. So no repeat. So if you notice the no repeat, hold on. Let's add some division connection so that it will go down. It will move one level down. Ayun. So Jude, this is what I mentioned earlier, that if your image is somewhat smaller than the screen size. So kini siya naka-center man ni siya. The ratio of your web page is according to the resolution of your display. So if your display is like bigger than the image that you place. Yes, Danica, you have a question? Yes, Dan. You're raising your hand. Question? Pwede ra i-chat if mahadlok mo tingog. Like if mahadlok mo tingog, pwede ra i-chat. Ilaton ka na mo imong question. Among hulatan imong question. Wala. Saan yung question niya? Okay. So, continue. But you can raise your hand if you have question. Ay, magkaulo. Okay, lain po kina ako rin mag-storya. Yan, nada yung may pangutangan na dira. Basta niya, di na mag-awot. Yes, someone's open their mic. Yes, you can, you can raise your hand, you can ask questions. Ay mo kabala ka, wala ko'y grado ninyo. Si Sir Joe from grado ninyo. Di mo ko manghagbong. Pasar mo tanan diri. Wala. Asa naman to? Medyo to ni-raise again. Sige. I-compose ang question. You can type your question sa chat box and then I'll answer that one. Okay. So, Jude, this is the property of that background. Katong sa background declaration. So, for background declaration, if it's not on repeat, na may tabo nga white. If the screen or the display resolution is bigger than the image or the image is smaller than the image you declare as a background is like small, then 1:1 na siya. It will only be displayed like this and eventually wala na siya mo di siya mo continue. So to fix that one, so to fix that one, we can use the background repeat. Kanya siya. So instead of no repeat, yung ka nga repeat. Automatically, repeat na siya x and y. And we have repeat x, repeat y. So nakambak, repeat x. Repeat x within horizontal x coordinate and repeat y, y coordinate. So I think you encountered that one in your algebra. So basta sa math, x, y coordinates. So repeat x is x. X. Yes, horizontal. And then repeat y will be vertical. Okay. So repeat will be x and y. So atin check refresh. Ayan. So from top to bottom, mag-repeat na siya. It looks weird but it is what it is. So ana ang pag-repeat sa background. Pero in practice, we don't use backgrounds as large as like 1 or 2 or 3 MBs. It's not recommended. Why? Because it adds latency in loading your website. The more resources that you add to your website, the longer it will load everything. Samot na kung online. So, it is discouraged to add large images unless you use CDN. So, unsa na CDN? And CDN. So, Content Delivery Network. So, it's yes, okay lang, Kim. No problem. Yes, no problem. The recording will be available. You can also visit YouTube or you can visit Facebook Live if unsay comfortable sa inyo and whichever is accessible. Because sometimes lisod kayo sa mag-download sa matag large kuan siya. Dako ang file size, so whichever is comfortable sa inyo yes. I'll just get your email so that I can add you sa classroom. I can invite you from classroom to the drive where the resources will be stored for this class. Okay, so no problem. Thank you for informing. Sige. So going back for CDN, CDN is the intermediary of, it's similar, it's actually a web application. It's a server. It's still a host of your mga images, large images, what else? Files. So instead of loading those files along with your website, like we call it on the fly, dili tumulupad ka, on the fly, meaning you load your site from top to bottom and each resources you declare there line by line, like tag 25 MB ba na siya or tag 1 MB or tag 5 MB. It adds latency in loading the rest of your code below. So that is how it affects loading your website. So instead of loading everything at once, they use CDN and the concept of lazy loading. Meaning by the time every containers, every web page layout is done loading, and that's the time they get the information from another server or in the CDN. And also CDN usually is, ang use ni CDN is to cache. Okay. It allows the cache to be kanang dili heavy. So, kaya naman say if there are changes in the file name or the resource, maybe at new ano siya, bagong release. So, CDN also allows you to just change the content instead of changing the cache value. Mas dali siyang i-load, mas gaan. But it is recommended that if you want to load images on a fly, like by the time na kuan ka ba na i-deploy ni mo yung site, kailangan ka nga naa sa imong assets tanan, nasa assets folder, na dito tanan ni mo ang resources, ganahan ka nga on the fly rajud tanan. Okay, wala na, ganahan lang ka. Then it's recommended you use small file size, yet the ratio is still kanang the same. The aspect ratio is the same, but small file size. And there are tools that can convert your resources into smaller file size while maintaining ratios. So, kana siya. So, the quality, almost the same, as long as the purpose is not showing you like HD, high definitions. Kaya ang high definitions, ang mahitabuan na bugat dyan na siya. Pero ang technique is that you can create a thumbnail out of that file, kana nga thumbnail may naa sa imo nga website. That's the one you attach to your image tag, and then it links to your CDN. The CDN holds the large data. By the time you click it, it opens another window for that large image to load. So pwede ina nga technique. Samot na kung online. Or, yes, thumbnails. Instead of loading big sizes, you use thumbnails. And sometimes, if you want to like access nakakuan na ano ka ng naka-gallery na tan, naka-gallery. It is recommended to load thumbnails and just access the large data by the time you're done loading the thumbnails. Dili ni mo siya on the fly, like large data din naka-thumbnails na. No. What will happen there? It loads the first, it loads the second, it loads the third, fourth, fifth, and it will take you maybe certain minutes to finish loading everything. Yeah, what happens if you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of images? What will happen to your application or your website? Magskira puti. Hindi na mo load tanan. Ay mong ending footer, wa pa naman og load imong website, imong footer dito kuha na putol. So the markup, like the whole markup there will be read from top to bottom, left to right. So if na kay mga large resources na mahitabuan na, it will load it one by one until it completely loads all the resources and reads the remaining markup. Okay, so that is how an image, the file size, what else? Yes, large data sets affects your somewhat like external sources, how it affects your website when loading. What else? Are we done? Images, circle. Someone has a question, clarification, someone is making something that is related to images other than okay. The usual question side, common side nisa, how to center an image. Okay, if you notice, nasa kilid mo, na siya sa kilid. The usual question, saan may pag-center? Even with text. And I think you saw this one as a meme, if you encounter this on Facebook, that a developer in setting up being a developer, then type sa Google of how to center an image. Alright, so na siya answer actually. Si W. Triscos na answer. Class center. And your class center should have black, margin left, auto, margin right, and a width of 50. So that is the rule. Kumbaga, that's the CSS rule that will center the image. Okay. So the practice, yes, pwede. To isend. Let's center our image. So this one we have 350 border red. Kaya atong i-fix. So let's just remove that one. By the way, div, by the time you do not set width for that one, it will use the whole span of your browser window. And then this one, I think di pa na siya center ha. Ato sa check lang ano. Alright. So si heart ito is center. So nawala ang border. Nawala Ala ang border. Ibalik na to si border. Kinira may tanggalon. So that you will see the changes. Ayan. It used the whole span of your, or the whole stretch of your browser window. Now, there's a way that we can center this image. Instead of using this CSS rules for now, let's just use the other way. I don't say that this is wrong, this is right. This is the other way around, like the other implementation. There's another implementation that we can use. So I think we can use the text align, and we will use center. So whatever the declared content of your division as a container will be centered. And then we'll check. Ayun. So nasa gitna na ang puso mo. Right? So that's one way. How about we put it on the right side, the right side. So instead of center, use right. Okay. So nasa right side. Dili sa right person. Nasa right side. May pa ang side right. Sige. Sige, Jud. Alright. So, that is how you... That is how... Ba't parang nasaktan kayo doon? Okay, that's how you align the contents of a container. So the other way around is to set this like the whole image. So let's just copy the image without a container, and let's use the margin function, which is 0 auto, and that is going to center the image as well. So with a width of 300, it will 0 auto means the four corners 0 lang. No, okay. This will be top, left, and on repeat. Kumbaga ana siya. So this one, this first 0 is top. So naka siya top, right, bottom, left. Meaning top niyang value is 0. Iyahang right value is auto. The bottom margin is 0, and the left margin is auto. Alright, so ano siya ha? So ito refresh. Uy, bakit wala? Parang may mali. Pero I think I need a division for that. Kailangan na ng container or enclosure. Let's remove the text. I hope parang mali ata ako. Probably. Sa container or sa image? I hope. Does it affect the container? I hope so. Gadipag na naman. Sayop lagi akong gitudlo. Sayop dyan. Balik. If my questions are, you just nasa to niya ang solo na busy og debug ang kuan resource person. Hindi. Hindi nagtama. Kasi akong sa'yo ba? Full 300 margin 0 auto sakto mo. Zero auto. Hindi lang ko sure ha, sakto ba niya? Okay. Ang container di ayaw mo i-ano. Okay. Mali po ako. Dapat ang container ang na-style. This will be with 100. Kana siya. So the container, because there are times when na kay multiple content. So the container is the one you set the margin from 0 auto with a specific width so that it will like transfer. Because if 100 siya, meaning the whole stretch ang iyahang i-fill. So if it's 300 alone, then it will only fill 300 pixels of the whole stretch of your browser navigation. So the margin here is automatic, the margin here is automatic, the margin on top is 0, and also the margin on the bottom is 0. Okay, so that's a different implementation of your images. Ano sa pa ba? So kung may line yung ganaha makitaan sa image. Na pa? What else? Any questions? Wala na ba? Wala na. So may line implementation sa image. So I think that's it. Hyperlinks. Okay, images and hyperlink. A circle image using border radius. Placing your image on the right. Centering your image. Making an image as a background. So I think asa man tong CSS na to. Adding a CSS. Background position top. So that we will be placing this on top. Okay, so top na siya. Alright, anything else? Jude, you have further questions regarding images? None. Wala na kayo mananaang implementation sa image. But then you might have something to add, like wanted to implement on your changes right now. And by the way, murag ano itong ganina? Alright. Tara din. I forgot to mention this one. Okay. So I think we'll just tackle continue tackling the list tomorrow. If anyone doesn't have any further questions regarding image implementations, I will save the HTML links Or you want to continue with kining listing? Basig na nagigutom dara. Give me a thumbs up if you want to continue. Okay, kasi di basig kailangan pahinga ba? I like rest. Lagi pang kapoy na ni. Di pang kapoy na. Sige, sige. We'll have the... Is it a yes? Is it a no? Okay. So, we'll end the session with the image implementation. And then tomorrow we will tackle list, different kind of lists, and probably we'll have application of lists in creating navigations, like styling your navigation with the so using an ordered list to create a navigation bar, an up bar, and yes, we'll go further like next elements that we'll be tackling. And from that list, I guess we can also tackle tables tomorrow, because I think if we will tackle this, kulangan ng oras. So there are three kinds of lists aside from ordered, unordered, and DL, or descriptive list, definition list, or descriptive, I forget. Lists are usually being used to create navigations. And these navigations allows you to beautifully create drop downs later on if you know already how to style it. So mga ganyan. Alright, so questions? I'm taking questions for 10 minutes or 30 minutes, depende sa questions. We still have time, but information overload niya mo. Questions? You can just type. Pwede nyo i-type. If maulaw mo open mic. Wala. No? No one? Mag-adjust kung audio daw. Sound. Saan mo pag-adjustan? Audio. Asa man i-adjust ng audio? How to adjust? Basin tungod sa filter. I don't know. Advanced audio properties. Balance, offset, monitoring. Volume up. Hello. Test mic 1, 2. Hindi ko sure, but I'll try tomorrow. Test mic 1, 2. For sure. Anyway, if you don't have further questions, Jude, if you don't have questions, let's have like another 30 minutes of Q&A before we start the session tomorrow. So I'll give you time to work on your on your own for the rest of this session, and then yeah, we'll have Q&A tomorrow. All right. So if if you don't have further questions, then I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. So thank you for participating again. So
Thank
I
you,
hope
sir.
I hope to see you tomorrow. So I'll share the resources, the classroom. Just add your register there because I can. That's where I can get your images. Images. Your your email. Sorry, and then by tomorrow, you can join directly anytime. All right. So thank you everyone for coming, and you can send your request dito sa pasin sa classroom. Let's try to arrange mga focus solutions. Probably you are creating something in your self dev, so let's try to arrange that one. All right. So thank you everyone for coming, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Sir. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Ka-foggy ba, oy?
Uy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.